We're gonna look at the outside of the house. Come along with me.
Oye, mijo.
As you can see, we carry all the point loads from up above, from the girders. There's 3 girders up there. There's 3 main trusses, and we bring all the point loads down. We also install squash blocks all beside the joists, which go directly on top of the studs, which is a common practice for Northcliffe Homes. As well as you can see on this side, also the studs here fall, the joists fall on top of the studs. And that makes it easier for the mechanical, for plumbing and heating. Let's go inside. Here we have living and dining with 2 nice big windows. There again, the same point loads. We put blocking every 4 feet as OBC requires, but it's not enforced nowadays, you know. I wish it was. I'm one of the only framers that still carries on the old school way of doing things. We have a beautiful skylight up above. That's the main feature of this house. Again, here in the back, as you can see, our point loads for the girders are in place. One on that corner, one on this corner here. And if you can see, if you can notice, if you can focus, the joist falls on top of the stud falls on top of the joist underneath, and upstairs the bottom stud, the top stud falls directly above. And we usually do our safety right away, so that safety is very important. Nobody gets hurt. Well, upstairs, I'll show you. Up here again, master bedroom. As you can see, as we try our best to land a truss every 4 feet, there is a stud that goes directly underneath each truss, and our jacks are exactly on top of our roof jacks, or our rafters are right on top of the studs. And then again, the same studs that fall over the joist from the 2nd floor. And again, this makes it much more sound and better for all the trades, for the mechanical, for the heating and the plumbing. another feature we do is we lift up the Tyvek on the bottom so that it's not underneath the wall. It's a typical mistake that occurs in framing. They leave the Tyvek underneath the wall and it really never does its purpose. Again, you can see on that side how the studs from the second floor fall on top of the joist and then on top of the studs below, which fall on top of the joist underneath. And also, as you can notice, how there is the 4-foot blocking across, again on the second floor. And again, every time that we have conventional framing, we do our best to land our rafters directly on top of the studs. Ontario Building Code says that 2 plates is plenty. This is why we double up the top plate, so that if we land the rafter, if we have to land the rafter in between the 2 studs, 2 plates is sufficient. But we strive at Northcliffe Homes to do the best that we can, and therefore we always attempt to land these guys on top of the studs, the corner, all the studs as you can see. On the inside partitions, we also try to put the studs as much as we can, because sometimes it's impossible when we switch the spacing of the joists from 16 to 12. And the spacing of the 2x4 walls and 2x6 walls still remains at 16. It's hard to get them to connect, but we try our best to do it here. This is one of our main features. And this concludes our video.